Adam Barlow, tell me your opinion on themed cinema popcorn buckets, the phenomenon that's hit the world recently.
Yeah, let's say I would trace it back to it beginning with Dune Part 2, right? With that horrible sex toy. I mean, popcorn bucket. With the horrible little like teeth of the worm. Ugh. Not a fan of that. Didn't get one, if you're wondering. But that's not to say I don't like.
But didn't get one.
Really wanted one, but didn't get one. That's not to say I don't like popcorn buckets. I've got loads in my room looking around. I've got a Paddington one. I've got the Project Hail Mary helmet, as previously seen on camera. Got a little question mark box from the first Mario film.
Did you get a Mando one last week?
I did, yes. I'm using that as a helmet currently.
Or an 80 or an 8080, because I know they had multiple.
I just got a bucket, I'm afraid. Hang on, let me try and... Here we go. Just a
nice.
Standard.
Just a standard bucket, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice bucket, though, actually, yeah.
Do there some off you.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to the Supergirl popcorn bucket that has recently been revealed. It's the character Lobo, I think that's his name, by Jason, played by Jason Momoa, on a motorbike. And basically, it's just an action figure. You take him off the bike and you can fit a whole thimble of popcorn in this bucket. And I think this is a real issue with them, that they are so stupidly designed that you can't actually fit any popcorn in them.
Yeah, I've seen the video after you've prompted me about it, but goodness me. I mean, where do we draw the line, people? We need to get real. That's not a popcorn bucket. That's a popcorn... That's the concept of popcorn. You know, there's barely a kernel in there.
Have you seen the American Odyssey one, where you've got the Trojan horse and you open up its stomach and the popcorn's in its stomach? Apparently there's quite a cool IMAX camera one as well, where you've got the box as the IMAX camera. Yeah. I haven't seen that, but I've heard that's cool. But the Trojan horse is a bit weird.
I like the idea of it, right? Like you're going to the cinema, oh look, I bought this figure, but wait, there's Trojan soldiers, and by that I mean popcorn inside, and it's really smart and clever because it's like the Greek mythology. But for me,
can eat all the little Trojan soldiers out of the tummy.
Yeah, but it's not out of the tummy though. It just looks like the horse's knob, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Someone needs to take that back to the drawing board. And the other one, while we're on the subject, I was just wondering, I wonder if they made any for Disclosure Day, seeing as that's come out at time of recording today. Sure enough, they've got their sort of regular ones, a square one, just a regular circle one with an eye, you know, all moody, pretty standard stuff. And then there's always one person in the design boardroom that have gone like, oh, I think we could push this out a bit, actually. And they've gone for a decapitated deer with a bird stood on it.
Why are they not chose the UFO? Do you know what I mean? Why are they not choosing cylindrical, spherical, circular-shaped or box-shaped things from the films? It's so
it's because
weird.
all the trailers have said, oh, it's not aliens. None of the trailers have actually revealed that it's an alien yet, except that one teaser that definitely did.
Showed a whole Greylien little green man from Mars, yeah. I think it's just going to be Kingdom of the Crystal Skull Part 2 / Close Encounters Part 2.
Well, yeah, you're so right.
God, what a weird popcorn bucket, though.
Stay tuned for next week for that. Hello and welcome back to Moving Up Podcast. It's been a hot minute, but we're back with episode 105 with your hosts, me, Adam Barlow.
And me, Alfie Walker. I was going to say a sun-kissed, a tanned Alfie Walker, but I'm not. I'm ginger. I don't tan, so.
No. Although, this is a bit of a tangent, but yesterday I was having dinner with Mum sat on the opposite side of the table and she said, Adam, you're looking very ginger today.
What a horrible thing of her to say.
Mum, that's not very supportive. Yeah. No, I don't mind. I've always thought ginger hair's quite cool, to be honest.
I will say I'm not like Carrot Top ginger either. I'm thankful for that. I'm not like that sort of orange. It's a bit more muted.
Yeah, it's tasteful. But I think when I was growing up, I had really bright blonde hair, sort of almost white hair.
Boris Johnson core.
Yeah, it was a bit. It was a bit. Thankfully, it then went a bit brown. But well into my uni days, I would be adamant that I had blonde hair still, and I kind of do. But everyone would get very angry whenever I mentioned it, in certain groups anyway.
A valid. Yeah, absolutely. You stand your ground.
Yeah, I will. I identify as being blonde. Thank you very much.
How have you been, Adam Barlow?
I've been doing all right. I've been going to therapy. It's been going really well. I finally think I am truly blonde. So, no, in all seriousness, I've been doing all right. Thank you. Yeah, lots of work, lots of driving, lots of getting trains. Not so much films, unfortunately. But we had a nice couple weeks off as a break. You were in Greece, of course.
It was, yes.
How was that?
Yeah, it was lush, mate, to be honest. It was we went to Crete. We had like 8 nights, so like 7 days, sort of 8 days, I can't remember. It was really nice. It's probably the nicest. Let me think. I always compare holidays. You shouldn't really do that, should you? Because they're all nice. But of my 3 I've done with Jacob to like big summer places, it's probably the nicest. It was on a hill, basically. The resort was on a hill, so you had a sea view from your room. The whole resort had a sea view 24/7, sunrise, sunset, blue skies, not a single cloud for 8 days. Food was nice, drinks. Yeah, it was lush, mate. Gutted to be back.
Oh, back to the motherland that is Hampshire.
So grey. So very, very grey in England, isn't it? All the time. There's so much rain as well. All of our plants that we left in the garden, like a swamp, they are absolutely waterlogged because it's just rained non-stop here. So depressed to be back, but happy to be back on the podcast with you reviewing films, because my God, have we had some good ones.
Yeah, we have. We have, to be fair. And some sourpusses are still reeling about Mando and Grogu, and even about a film I'm going to be chatting about later on today. They've been getting on their high horse and saying, well, it's rubbish and cringy. No, you're rubbish and cringy.
Gotcha.
Get wrecked, bro. Don't at me. Hashtag savage. Still think the film's cringe? No, we're cringe.
I'm more cringe, yeah.
I'll tell you what's cringe and what's not.
This podcast, that's cringe.
Yeah. Damn right.
King of cringe.
Kings of cringe. King and queen of cringe. Of Cringeland. In the cringe century. Right, move on, Adam. Just run its course. Films we're going to be talking about today. Masters of the Universe, which is the one I was alluding to about being cringe, and it kind of is, but I liked it.
In a fun way.
I'll explain why. In a fun way, yeah. I also saw TUNER with Leo Woodall, who was the sexy younger boy from Bridget Jones' Man About the Boy. I think that's what it's called, the 4th film. Yeah. And you've seen a couple of bits as well.
Yes, I've seen the horror fanfare bonanza that's going on at the moment, Obsession. I'm excited to talk about that. I saw that yesterday. And then I've also watched a TV show that is going through all the rage at the moment. So the same writer, same writer as Baby Reindeer, which I reviewed on the podcast. What's that? Probably a year and a bit ago. That is Hoffman, the new show from Richard Gadd. So I'm going to review that as well.
Awesome. Let's get straight into it. Let's start off with my review of Masters of the Universe. I have the power. Yeah, it is cringe, to be fair.
What's your relationship to He-Man, Adam? Because I think for a start, they've made the wrong move by calling this film Masters of the Universe and omitting the He-Man part. I think that's straight away not a good move, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Did you watch He-Man as a kid? Do you have any toys?
No, I know they did a 2000s series, but I think I was more kind of, if I did watch cartoons, it would be, I don't know, Dennis the Menace.
Classic.
Sort of,
Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah, street level, Man About Town.
RastaMouse. RastaMouse with Scratchy and Zoom,
also known as the Easy Crew.
Crime fighters, they're very special agents making something till the work gets through. Give it up, give it up, give it up for the Easy Crew. Something mistress in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Always there to make a bad thing good. There we go. That's one for socials.
That's great.
The only two people over the age of 20 still talk about that.
God, I remember loving that stop motion shit.
Yeah.
He-Man, I watched the 1983 show. Not obviously when it aired, because I was not existing there. My dad was only like 7 when it was out, so there's that for you. I watched He-Man because he watched He-Man, and he gave me his figures from the 80s. He had the figures, and then he gave them to me, so I had the little He-Man, the little hooded red guy with the eyes who looks like a Jawa, and Skeletor, all these cool figures. And I used to watch the show, I had it on VHS, but that's kind of it. It's kind of quite secluded. I've watched the show, played the figures, had a big castle, Greyskull, whatever it's called. I remember getting that for my birthday. It's all quite a core memory, really, but I don't really have that much affiliation with it or nostalgia for it, really, which is a shock, bear in mind that I really liked it. I haven't seen the new film, but you have, Adam. Go for it. How was Masters of the Universe?
Yeah, so my only touchstone for this franchise was the GIFs and the memes of him singing, I think.
Yeah. It says like gay on it or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's really outdated memes, isn't it? It's the sort of GIFs you haven't really seen for about 10 years, but they're kind of classics, you know?
Yeah, foolproof.
No one's using them anymore, not in 2026, but I was I really didn't expect much, I'll be honest, from the trailers. I was looking at it, it looked like a kind of poor man's Guardians of the Galaxy mixed with a bit of Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Remember that film from a couple of years ago? Which was actually really good fun. So I was hoping it'd be more like that and maybe surprise me in some way. And I'm glad to say it did. I had a really fun time with this. And not in a like turn your brain off and enjoy it kind of way, because I think that's always a little bit
of a diss, isn't it?
Counterintuitive, yeah, isn't it? Like, you don't want to completely just sit there and be like, oh, give me content, please. But actually, this gave you a bit of meat to chew on, I think. It's not overly complicated. It's not going to reinvent the wheel at all, but it's also not preachy, I wouldn't say in any way, which I think in a sort of family blockbuster is appreciated by some demographics, actually. You do kind of want a film that's just, has got a bit of messaging, but it's not going to, ram anything in your face. Although there are plenty of jokes about He-Man's cock in here. So, there's things here for everyone, really.
Nicholas Galitzines wearing an extremely skimpy outfit, isn't he?
He really is.
That one shot where it just looks down at his like crotch as well, that is everywhere online. That's quite something.
Yeah, that is a revealing piece of cinema. As Martin Scorsese would say, absolute cinema. I think it does a good job of introducing the characters and the world, which is quite in depth, to a new audience of all ages. I think it works for the dads that were there. There were some like quite old dads there, actually. For example, sat next to me on my left was a bloke probably in his 30s, maybe 35, and his dad, who was maybe in his late 60s, really just having a great time, and both of them equally enjoying it. And I heard them walk out and were just chatting about the bits they liked, the stuff they remembered, playing with the action figures that they both had. I think
that's
they kind
quite
of
cute.
Hit both waves of the show. So that was really heartwarming, actually, and made me enjoy it more as well, because I could tell it was resonating for them. I think Nicholas Galitzines does a great job in the lead. He's very charismatic, very funny, and not in a sort of stupid way. I think he does it in a way that Chris Hemsworth kind of did with Thor. In fact, it's very similar to Thor, that first film, where he lives in this high fantasy realm, gets sent to Earth, then has to come back and sort of reclaim his throne. You know, it's that kind of story arc, a bit like Lion King. And it just kind of works. Like, it's a simple baseline story, and then you have all the action thrown in and all the heart and the humour. Sir Idris Elba now, since we last recorded.
Really?
Congratulations. Yeah, Sir
congratulations, fan and listener of the show, Sir Idris Elba.
Sir Idris Elba, yeah, thank you. Big fan of the show.
Big fan, yeah, huge fan.
He actually mentioned it in a speech, I'm pretty sure. And King Charles agreed. Charles agreed.
We're getting knighted, actually, let you know.
We are.
Next time we record, it'll be Sir Barlow and Sir Walker.
Yeah, I'm surprised we hadn't mentioned that up until this point. It just slipped our minds, because it's no big deal.
No,
really.
No big deal. Services to podcasting and entertainment, something like that. But
yeah. I didn't really listen to the details, to be honest, but yeah, sure, Charlie, we'll come along. There's free
Cheers,
lunch.
Chuck.
Oh yeah, Chuck. Oh, there's a cab getting. Oh, a private jet getting us there. Yeah. Don't mention it. Don't mention it. Yeah. Who else is in the cast? Sir Idris Elba. Oh, everyone's least favorite actor. Jared Leto. Yeah. Now, apparently, he was on set doing the mocap or wearing a suit. They digitally replaced the face, I think.
Okay, nice.
I
don't believe that.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
I'm
going
not
to say?
sure, because he's really good here. He's very funny. Like, he kind of steals the show. Every line he had, I was properly belly laughing, like really high-pitched chuckling at everything he said. But he also looks badass, like the red darting eyes that sort of zip around when he's looking at things, which I don't think was in the original cartoon.
I think he's just got.
Yeah. So I think it's a really great addition to the character. It makes him look incredibly menacing, and he is very powerful. He's still definitely a threat, but at the same time, he's an absolute goofball, which I really liked. And he's also just evil through and through. There's a moment where you kind of try and look a bit deeper and see, oh, actually, is there a reason he's like this? And then he's just like, no, I love being evil, actually.
It's good. It's goofy, like the show. That's what it's like. He's evil, but also a bit of a goofball. So good on him for going there with him.
Yeah, and I think it really worked. Camila Mendes, that's the other sort of lead in here, plays Tila, who is a sort of love interest / older sister kind of role model to him, which is weird. She looks mighty fine in this film. I must say, there's something in here for everyone.
Yeah, right. You've got Nicholas Galitzines for the gays and mums, and you've got Camila Mendes for the dads and boys. So nice.
Yeah, and Alison Brie as well
as Evil Lynn.
Evil Lynn, yeah,
it's a great name. It's so good.
I've never met a Lynn that's evil, but
I'll
take your word for it. Have you?
Yeah.
Go on. No? Okay.
No. Don't talk about her.
All right, fair enough. Don't want to give her the time of day.
I
thought Evil Lynn was not given a huge amount to do, but when she is there, I was like, oh, it's Alison Brie. And I noticed about halfway through, I was like, that's the girl from Community. Good on her. Looking like a sexy dominatrix.
Like an evil lady called Lynn.
Like an evil Lynn, in many ways. Anyone else to mention? Not really.
Not massively. There's a couple of big boys from Game of Thrones, Sam C. Wilson and I think Habfor Julius. I think they're both from Game of Thrones world, where they play massive, meaty, beat 'em up men, and I think they play like Trapjaw and a couple of the other like goons that Skeletor has.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think like it knows how silly it is, and it doesn't try to make it. It's not embarrassed of itself. Do you know what I mean? And I really appreciated that, because there are a lot of these franchises that people bring back. I mean, superheroes, for the most part, used to be quite campy, right? But they've sort of made them quite grungy because of Christopher Nolan's Batman series and all that. Like, Batman is well, maybe not
it's
the
the
best
one you can
example,
get away with it with, I'd say. The others are where the issue seeps in, yeah.
It's like Superman, right? I don't love the sort of grittier Man of Steel take on him. I far prefer the David Corenswet film that we had last year. And so I think it does a good job of actually, I mean, in some ways, He-Man's character here is quite similar to Superman because he's just got a real energy within him of like optimism and kindness and sort of wholesomeness, which I think is a really positive thing for young guys to see, you know, and young girls equally. And I'm aware there's a She-Ra character as well. There is a nod to her. I'll say no more, but who knows if it gets a sequel, we might see her on the big screen, you know, who am I to say? I do fear that
just from the way you're hinting there, that's definitely the end credit scene. I don't know that, don't confirm it, but that's definitely the end credit scene when She-Ra shows up with her chakras.
Yes, but I do fear that we probably won't get a sequel as the box office has been pretty abysmal as far as I'm aware. Yeah, and critics have been fairly split, I think, or certainly discussion online has been. So some people have really enjoyed it, like me. Others have been like, what is this haddock rubbish? So it's weird to find a kind of... It's tricky to find what the consensus is really and whether or not it's going to give much hope to the powers that be in the boardrooms, but we'll see. I'd watch a sequel.
I think that's a shame. I mean, I haven't seen it. Like I said, I'm going to plan on seeing it Sunday on my cinema day. I think like you said, I think it just runs the risk of if they'd taken it one way where they just make it super gritty, it would have been so drab. I think the fact that from the trailers and clips alone I've seen, it looks colourful. It looks a bit more Guardians-esque than, say, something that's really drab. It looks fun. The clips of Skeletor I've seen looks great. Everyone's saying it's Jared Leto's best work, which is so funny because it's barely him there, is it? Let's be honest. He's got a different voice and he didn't write the joke. So you could have had anyone there and saved a lot of money not casting Jared Leto.
Now, listeners, have you ever been ripped off by a product that you bought online? Have you ever read the reviews and found out that the return policy is not quite what you'd hoped? Today we're going to be reviewing Obsession, which I think is different.
Ironically, on my notes, I've got the first line is that, previous year we had The Substance, last year we had Weapons. This year, the best horror film so far is Obsession, but it is quite derivative. It's got its links and it's sort of, it's through lines to quite a few films that I'll mention in a bit. I think we're going to mention horror FOMO because this is the text that you sent me when I said, wow, Obsession's great. And you just said, I always have such FOMO for horror. Like,
yeah, not to be a damp squib. Sorry, I didn't mean to like take the wind out your sails or anything. I just was like, oh, that's good for you.
I hope you enjoyed it.
I'll just be sat here alone watching Spider Noir on Amazon Prime.
Can review that as well if you want to be honest,
mate.
I could too.
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it, but maybe next week.
Why do you have horror FOMO, Adam? Tell the audience.
Well, guys, if you'll indulge me for a second, I just think that you horror fans have been having it really good for a long while. And as someone who is a bit of a scaredy cat, a pussy, I can't sleep at night. Pussy-o. I can't sleep at night if I've seen something remotely edgy. And I want to know what the psychology is behind this because, I think we've mentioned this before, I can watch James Bond and not be petrified that he's going to burst into my room at night and shoot me. So why is it when I watch a film about a serial killer that I'm then like, oh no, what if Michael Myers comes to stab me in the gut? Like, it's
the one who voices Shrek, yeah?
Yeah, yes. What if the Cat in the Hat cuts me in bits? Like,
you are right. Horror fans have been, to turn a phrase, eating well recently, haven't they? We've had, like I said, The Substance, which was probably my favourite film from previous year. Last year we had Sinners and Weapons. Sinners/Weapons probably favourite films of last year. There's been an absolute renaissance in horror, and horror that's getting Oscar nods, which is insane to say when you've got horror is so low key for so many years. Sort of the Anthony Hopkins being nominated for Silence of the Lambs was like a major thing, and then like after that it was like Black Swan, I think, like the time difference between those. And then recently we've had so many horror wins, and yeah, it's so cool to see, and I really do enjoy going. This one was scary though, mate, and you talking about not being able to sleep. There is a real thing in this film. It's not pareidolia, which is that whole thing where you see faces in other stuff. So when you look at a cup of coffee and the foam on the top, you can see a face in it or something. It's not quite that, but it is sort of like that. So there's scenes where she is stood in a corner, or someone has stood in a corner of a room in darkness, or she stood in the doorway in darkness. And there's a very small amount of light that just slowly highlights her face a bit. And I don't know whether they digitally alter it to make her look like someone else, or whether it genuinely is just your brain doing the pareidolia thing and seeing faces on her face. And it had me properly scared. Like, I'm good with horror films. They really don't get me that much. But I was wincing at the screen. I was like that, like squinting, because I knew, oh my God, someone's going to jump. I can see that is not her face in that corner there. And it had me on eggshells for the entire film. It is so tense. Yeah, this is Obsession. So this is a film that has been written and directed by Curry Barker, I believe his name is. He has only done short films and YouTube films. And so this is his first big breakout one, made on a budget of 750,000K. So we're under $1 million for this in the year 2026. Absolutely baffling. If you do go watch this, which I don't know if you'd like it or not, but if you do, it is insane to imagine this. Even just the simple things like the set design and the theming, and the script is good as well. It's not like it's shot like some Quentin Tarantino, Scorsese film. It's not like a phenomenally shot thing, but the framing is great and so very spooky. Yeah, it's nasty, it's gory, it's also funny. So it's sort of what I thought. I don't know if you remember that film last year, Together, with it's
Alison
kind of what
Brie,
yes,
Dave
yeah,
Franco.
Alison Brie, yeah, absolutely. What I thought that was going to be last year is what this is this year. I was fine with Together, but I wasn't blown away. But this has been one where I've gone, okay, it's got the same similar sort of themes. There's a through line of sort of two people personality sort of thing, and this nails it. It's a One Wish Willow. That's the concept of the film. It's set around four friends who all work in the same music store. I think they're off to go to college soon, so they must be, 17, 18. There's a weird sort of dynamic between all four of them, where they clearly like each other, and some of them like the others, but others don't feel that way about them. So they're obviously shagging each other and that kind of thing. But there's one guy, let me just find his name. So yeah, his name was Bear / his name's Baron in the film, played by Michael Johnston. And then we have Nikki, played by Indy Neverete. I'm gonna guess that's how you pronounce her name. And he fancies her. She does not fancy him back. And so he is trying to impress her. And the beginning of the film sort of sets this up in a nice way. And he stumbles into a crystal shop, one of those shops that sells all your incense and your magic crystal necklaces. And they have on the counter a One Wish Willow, which is obviously a novel sort of thing, saying you snap this, make a wish and it'll come true. Obviously not going to happen, right? But no, it's a really good concept, and it obviously does happen. His wish, which is in the first sort of 20 minutes, so no spoiler, is for her to love him the most that anyone has ever loved someone, I think is the phrasing. And so from there onwards, instantly, it just devolves and devolves into her being obsessed over him, hence the title. It is really quite clever. Indy Navarrete is excellent. Really, really good. They're both the main actors are, Michael Johnston too, but she is standout because she is playing two characters. It's sort of revealed, once again, no big spoilers, but it's sort of revealed that it very much is a new kind of person almost. It's that this One Wish Willow is created. And so you get some absolutely unsettling scenes. One in particular where you can still see the old person who doesn't love him. And it's really unsettling. There's a phone call scene, once again, I won't spoil it, where he contacts the manufacturers of the One Wish Willow and is like, I want this wish reversed. And there's some audio on that phone call and the thing that the man on the other end says, and it's really horrible. It's really, really horrible. It's just the audio design in this film. I don't know if maybe my views had new speakers put in, but it was so loud. It was like, you can feel it in your ear every time she's yelling at him that she loves him so much and that she's going to kill herself if he doesn't love her back, or she is like, you can't do this because you need to spend every minute of the day with me. And she is screeching at the top of her lungs, and it is so loud, and it is like, the sound design is great. It really, really adds to it. The descent into like her sanity is great. Like I said, she's really, really good actor. At moments, it peaks and troughs. She'll go from being an absolute nutcase to being someone more normal and sort of a bit more public facing. And then it will reveal something she's done to him, which she thinks is because she loves him. And it makes your stomach churn. Let's say there's a horrible scene with some food that he eats that she makes him, and it's not very nice. And it's really horrible. Like I said already, there's that scene where she is sleeping and you get a peek into her there. And there is a scene where he calls up on the phone line. That is horrible. And then the scenes where she stood in the darkness watching him sleep. Completely black room. Like I said, her face is lit very vaguely. I'm convinced it's not her face there because it is so well done. But your brain it sits on this angle just of her face for so long. Your brain is just looking at it and just going, is that her? Is that not? Is it her? No, it's not. Like, you're waiting for something to jump because you know it's going to happen. It's really well done. Really, really well done. It's scary. It's probably the most scared I've been in a film for a while. Weapons didn't scare me. I don't think Weapons were particularly scary. Yeah, of the horror films I've seen over the past year, it's probably couple of years maybe, it's probably the one that's sort of stuck with you most. It's really well done. To think that the director's, I think he's 26, and done on such a small budget, it's crazy. There's a car scene as well where you kind of know something's going to happen with, there's these four friends, and you can sense what's going to happen, the way it's set up and the framing of the camera and the situation. And when it does it still shocks you, and the gore on it is insane. The level of blood and viscera being sprawled all over the screen and over him and over anyone else. Yeah, it's revolting. It's really graphic. It's great. It's really quite something. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Upon reflection, I might even give it a bit more. I might give it a 5 out of 5. It's genuinely so very excellent, and I don't think it will get Oscar nods. I don't think it's highbrow enough, although it's clearly got some really deep themes and they're really well executed and really shown through the film about sort of possession of someone as a trophy and the ownership over like a woman, that kind of thing. I don't think it would get Oscars, but yeah, truly great performances, great directing, great sound design, really sticks with you. I'm excited to see what the director does next, or the writer does next, because, I mean, if he's done this as his first breakout film, it's an insane level of horror. So I can imagine it's going to be another Zach Cregger on our hands kind of thing, where it's just knocking banger after banger out of the park.
Yeah. I love hearing you talk about horror films because I think there's a quality to them that is really infectious, which is why I wish I liked horror more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's a genre quite like it at the moment where you can come out of a film just buzzing and like kind of be like, oh, I don't really want to watch it again, but at the same time, like, it was brilliant. Like, I love that dynamic because it shouldn't really work, and yet it does. And I find it fascinating. I really like hearing people talking about horror. So I'm glad you liked it. I don't. Maybe I'll go and catch it, but it might.
I think
it might
be
one that I'm and better to watch at home. I don't know.
Yes,
I'm yet to watch
probably.
Weapons. I need to watch Weapons still.
You'd be fine with Weapons. I know you haven't caught that yet. That you'll be 100% fine with that.
Yeah.
This is, I think, I'd say, you know what? I think you'd be all right with this. I think
I've heard that the Backrooms as well. I know you haven't seen that, but also like a 20-year-old director for that one, incredible. I think that is apparently quite silly at the end.
Yes.
I think again it's atmospheric, but I think Obsession sounds like it might be a bit scarier.
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't know which. I think Obsession's maybe the better one from what I've seen online. But
yeah, it's kind of mad that both these films have dropped within 2 weeks of each other, and yet they are both doing so well, which is so great to see, because you so often have the pitted against each other films, don't you? I know they both did well, but the Barbenheimer thing, and we've obviously got the what's the Avengers one that's coming up? Isn't that Doomsday's dropping on the same day as Dune? Like, there's always a competition element, and I don't think they've phrased this as a competition, because these are more low key films in the sense of budget and that. But I think it's so cool to see that both are being well received and both are doing absolutely amazing box office wise. It shows that there's room for just good films. If the film's good, it will have its own momentum and doesn't need to compete with something. So,
an Obsession, I think, is on the way to being the most profitable film of all time. Because I think is it predicted to break? I think it's broken 100 million.
Yes, I think so. I saw someone predicting it's on its way to, I think it's on its way to 200, isn't it? I saw some really high, budget of 750,000 in 2026 is insane.
That's a good return.
You're right, it is. In the world of stockbroking, that would be great if you got that return on your investment. So, Wolf of Wall Street's over here.
And the World Cup's coming up, so just blow it all on that.
Yeah, bet on England to lose, yeah? No, highly recommend it. I think you would be fine upon reflection. I think if you go... Do you have anyone who likes horror films you could go see it with?
Not really.
No. Yeah, maybe wait until it's at home. But definitely watch it. I would recommend watching it. I think you'd enjoy it a lot. It's just so tense. What a great film. What a banging start for horror in this year. I can't wait for Resident Evil over later this year. So hopefully more amazing horror films to come.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Adam Barlow, what's the difference between a piano and a fish?
I don't know, Alfie. What is the difference between a piano and a fish?
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. However, Adam Barlow will be tuning his thoughts in on the brand new film starring Leo Woodall called Tuner. Take it away, Adam.
Very well done. Tuner refers to the lead character, Leo Woodall.
Goods available at all supermarkets.
Yes. Great on jacket potatoes. Just don't mix it with beans, you pervs. Leo Woodall plays Nicky White, who is a piano tuner, very skilled at his craft because he has, hang on, let me check. He has a condition called hyperacusis, which is essentially you've got a very low threshold or very low tolerance for environmental noise and chatter. So he's got to wear these sort of earplugs that look like hearing aids, but they actually kind of dull down the audio around him. So, and it seems to be this condition that's sort of come up and sort of snuck up on him later into his life, and it's really taken away his ability to play the piano, because he was a virtuoso who's really great at music, was going to go on and have this great career, and then one day wakes up and is just throwing up, cannot stand noise. So he sort of reshuffles his life and becomes a piano tuner. He works with Dustin Hoffman for this small company called what's it called? Dustin Hoffman's character is called Harry Horowitz, and their company is something around that name. And they drive around in this sort of tacky but quite cozy van, telling stories, having a laugh. There's a bit of an age gap there, obviously, and they're sort of disagreeing over some things, finding common ground over other things. And really, Nicky White is kind of just powering through, and he's the real, brains and brawn behind this operation, behind this business. Harry Horowitz getting a bit old and has a heart attack sort of fairly early into the film, and then spends the rest of the time in A&E. So he's then left alone, carries on with his jobs. On one assignment, he finds that after dark at this big mansion, there's this kind of sketchy crew of security fitters who are drilling into a big safe. And they're like, no, we promise this is legit. We're just trying to move stuff. And he's like, okay, but why don't you have the password to just take the stuff out? And they're like, don't really have an answer. And he's like, well, to be honest, I could probably hear the clicks of the lock for you if you wanted me to help. And the film kind of plays it out as though he's clueless to them being criminals at the start, but I think he kind of goes along with it. I think that's one gripe I had for the film, is that I didn't buy that he was as clueless in that first initial interaction, because he literally does call them out, as I've just said. But anyway, he then doesn't really realise that these guys are bad until about halfway through the film, I'd say, which is a little bit
of an odd plot point. I'm going to interrupt, but it's a bit weird that, that's a really odd plot device to not know that they're criminals, yet they're breaking into a safe.
Yeah, well, but he's desperate because he needs to pay for Harry's huge sum of outstanding medical bills.
So maybe he's blissful ignorance, right? Okay.
Yeah. So he's got to be like, okay, I need to get some money from somewhere, and piano tuning, as good as it isn't going to cut it. So he then gets caught up in this group of gangsters. They kind of push him to do more and more risky crimes, all sort of lockpicking. But there's an occasion where a gun is at play, and obviously guns are pretty loud, and you can kind of piece together in your mind how that's going to play out. And he's basically put in some really perilous situations. At the same time, he also meets a girl, very talented at piano, played by Havana Rose Liu, I believe it is. Excellent actress. Hadn't seen her in anything before, I don't think, but she's very good, very charismatic. It actually then does do a very good job of juggling this crime thriller with this actually genuinely quite sweet romance film as well. You wouldn't think that the two blend together too easily, but actually it felt fairly natural. And it kind of rises the stakes of both sides, if that makes sense, because you know that the romance is going to have to take a hit, and you know that the criminal lifestyle also is not going to last forever. So it's always it's reaching to a boiling point that I found, pretty satisfying when it did actually all kick off. I think Leo Woodall was very good as the lead. He's sort of quite brooding, but you do really feel for him, and you do feel bad for his situation, because he's just a nice guy that gets caught up in this horrible scenario where, like, he's only in it for a good motivation, but obviously he was naive to think that he'd get away with it scot-free, and when it all just sort of blow up towards the end, you're like, oh, I really don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't know. It actually gets quite nasty with the gangster stuff, and the stakes are really high, and he gets badly injured. So I won't go into any more detail with it, but I think it does a good job of just elevating it, and it's very tense. Has some good one-liners in there as well. And it's just a really unique story. Like, it kind of works. The idea of this piano tuner also being able to crack safes is just a playful idea. It seems like something that should have been done before, but yet it hasn't. And it's just a solid elevator pitch for a movie where I think you could tell this sort of 3 bullet point film idea to your dad, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, sounds good, whack it on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to take too much convincing to get people to check it out. And I think the runtime is fairly tight. I think it's only about an hour and a half, I think, not too much longer. Tom Cruise will be all over this shit.
Nice, yeah.
I've just seen here, though, this is, bearing in mind looking at Wikipedia, Budget 7 million, box office 5 million.
Oh, I mean, I've seen nothing about this film. I've seen zero trailers. It's not got a showing anywhere near me, from what I can tell. It's not on The View. I think it's got the Cineworld in Chichester near me. That's got one showing a day. I think the name doesn't help it. I think the poster is boring. From what you've explained, I think it's quite a cool concept.
It is a cool film. It's very slick. It's got a lot of jazz music in
It's
there,
a Baby Driver-esque in a way. I don't, just the plot-wise, maybe not the way it's shot or anything, but just the concept of having someone with a specific ability and then the love interest as well, and having to earn money and then getting involved with criminals. It gives a little bit of Baby Driver kind of thing. Obviously not on that level, but
you're not wrong.
You're not right either.
You're not right though, mate. So pipe down. That's enough. You chime in when I bloody tell you to. All right.
I've had enough of this.
It's my review. You're going to talk about Half-Man in a minute. All right.
What's the director of Baby Driver called?
Edgar Wright.
I've had enough of you being an Edgar Wright shill and mentioning him every film. Can you be quiet, please?
Oh, Lord of the Rings is like Edgar Wright, is it? Oh, yeah, because it's got a whip pan. Barging into roofs, making the noise of one of those little cow things that you put in the fridge.
Simon Pegg is in Mission Impossible. Is that like it too? No.
Is that Hot Fuzz, is it? Because they both got guns.
Goodness.
Anyway. Sorry, listeners, after I was rudely interrupted. I've got nothing further to say. There we go.
Case closed. Adam, did you ever catch the weird and wacky tale of Baby Reindeer from it was probably about 2 years ago now, but did you ever catch that?
I don't think I did, but I did see many a clip of it. It was really all over socials.
Yeah, because the woman came out, didn't she, and got interviewed by Piers Brosnan, Piers Morgan, I think, didn't she? Like the real woman it was based on.
Yeah, and she was completely just ignorant to it, and like, no, it's none of this is real.
He's making it all up. Yeah.
I think I might write a show about him.
Valid, NGL. If I had my dirty laundry aired like that on Netflix and a $1 billion show, I probably would too. This is the new show written and starring Richard Gadd, who is the main guy from Baby Reindeer. That was his show and his story. This is his show, his story. Don't think this one's based on real life events. Definitely influenced by stuff, but yeah, I don't think it's based on an actual story like Baby Reindeer was. This stars Richard Gadd as Reuben and Jamie Bell as, I think his name is Niall or Bambi. Jamie Bell you'll know as Billy Elliot.
Like the Baby Reindeer.
Yes, just like the Baby Reindeer. Yes, Jamie Bell you'll know from Billy Elliot, the, like, what's that, 90s film? Can't remember. Early 2000s. Yeah, so it's starring them. They are the main characters. It focuses purely on them. This TV show is incredibly uncomfortable. Baby Reindeer is, as much as it deals with some really complex issues like sexual assault and sexual abuse in the industry and stalking and mental issues and sexuality, it's still a comedy. Baby Reindeer is still overall a comedy in the way that it shocks you and it plays the story for laughs. This is not. This is really uncomfortable. It's a bit like adolescence in that way, where there's just no let up. It's just constant sort of demoralizing bleakness. It's probably a bit bleak for TV, really. It's really no sort of lifting off. It's quite relentless in its horror, in the like manipulation way. So Half-Man is a bit different to Baby Reindeer. Don't get me wrong, it's a great show. It's written really cleverly. I'm glad it's only 6 episodes. I think it would have outstayed its welcome if it was any longer. It is, it's icky. It makes you feel a bit dodgy. It's got some weird elements to it, which Baby Reindeer did as well. So it's clearly Richard Gadd's sort of trademark is his weird relationship with like sexuality and that kind of thing, which is an interesting watch. So makes sense why they always hit off. It's just a bit grim though. Basically, every episode, the 6 of them, starts in the sort of present day at the wedding of Niall, who is Jamie Bell's character. You then get a very small clip, maybe 5 minutes, if that. You then get a flashback to a specific year of his past. So I think the first year is like 80, I think maybe 82, 84. Then you get 89, sort of spread out over right up until the modern day. The first half of the show focuses on the younger selves. So instead of being played by Richard Gadd and Jamie Bell, it's played by 2 other actors. Not seen them in anything. Their names are Stuart Campbell and Mitchell Robertson. Basically, you get an episode of them in school and their relationship, and it focuses on both of their childhood trauma of each other. Ruben, who is the Richard Gadd-esque character, he is an absolute horrible person. He comes into Niall's life and ruins it. He is abhorrent. He is violent and bullyish and not very nice and horrible to everyone around him. There's no redeeming factor. He's just absolutely vile, and it portrays the violence between them and how he ruins his life. And you then get sort of a bit of to and fro almost, where you get, oh, actually he's kind of enjoying having this person with power around. He's previously bullied at school, Jamie Bell's character. Now he's got this sort of brother figure in his life who's protecting him. Absolutely horrible, but he's still protecting him. So he kind of elevates him and they become good friends, albeit so controlling and domineering. And there's a very weird sort of sexual tension. They don't have anything sexual between them, but Jamie Bell's character Niall is clearly controlled by him and sort of asks him for permission in everything he does. And even when you get a flash forward in one episode to the wedding, when they're saying the I do's, before he says I do, he looks at him in the audience and waits for him to say I do, so then he can say I do to his husband. It's really messed up. It's really dodgy. It's a weird dynamic. As I said, yeah, first sort of 3 episodes focus on their younger selves, childhood trauma. Then you flash forward to when they're played by, Jamie Bell and Richard Gadd, and shows you him in prison, how he's done so much horrible stuff in his life, where his life's gone. It does a really good job at just showing the counter effects of each. One of them will do something, it will affect the other, and vice versa. It's just like it through their whole life. And it's one of them will be on top, one of them will be at the bottom. And as soon as the other one's on top, the other one hits rock bottom and is in prison or something. It's really like destructive. You see them destroy each other throughout their whole life and destroy themselves as well. It's just a bit miserable. There's no sort of relief. It's not funny in a ha-ha way where you're sat there laughing at the show. It's funny in a cringy way almost, when you're like wincing at it. But don't get me wrong, as I said, it's incredibly grim, but really, really clever and really interesting. It's a topic that I've not seen displayed or portrayed on TV or film like this, where they are both as bad as each other almost. They're not good people, and one of them is clearly more the victim than the other, but they really play off each other. It's got a fairly abrupt ending, which I think is nice, because it lets you sit there and think, and I don't know what more they could have done with it, really. I think 6 episodes is the right length. Any longer and any sort of, if you got the payoff after, if you had a whole episode of the what's it called, like the
aftermath of it.
Aftermath, yeah, sorry, yeah, there we go. The aftermath, I think it would have been too much. And there's not much more to say. It comes to a really fitting conclusion, incredibly like poetic I won't spoil, actually. I won't say what I was going to say there, but in a quite a classic way. It's very poetic what happens at the end. It wraps it up. It's just a bit grim. Grim really is the word I'd use to describe it. It's a bit a bit weird and a bit pervy and a bit grim, but it's quite a good watch. It's a bit like Adolescence, where it's just really quite miserable. It's just miserable Britain, which unfortunately I don't think we need much of at the minute, because real life Britain's pretty miserable. I just said to Adam off air about Tiptoe, the new Russell T Davies show. Started watching that, and that's sort of similar, where it's so real that it's quite off-putting. Because I don't want to finish work at 6 p.m, turn on the TV and just be faced with people hurting each other and stuff. So, I mean, if you're into the sadomasochism kind of thing and you want to feel like shit, give it a watch. It's really very well written and portrayed. And Jamie Bell is beyond amazing in the show. He really is. He's like next level acting. And Richard Gadd too. I don't trust Richard Gadd at all. I think he seems so dodgy. The man he plays in this is scary as. It's absolutely terrifying. This huge, beefy man. He's scary. He's really, really scary. I would not trust this actor for my life. But yeah, really good, but just a bit grim.
I've not heard much about it. Yeah, would you like to see him do maybe something with a bit more levity? Or do you think that is his USP, just doing uncomfortable, dark,
I think that's his
complex things? Yeah.
I think because he himself has, in interviews and stuff, said that he's like, I think Richard Gadd is like bisexual, and he's clearly had issues with that his whole life, because that was quite a thing in Baby Reindeer. The Martha Stalker stuff aside, there was a huge plot line in that with like his sexuality and that, and it's really present in this as well. I think he's clearly a bit fucked up, and his USP is portraying his sort of trauma and that.
Yeah.
I just think Baby Reindeer had a level of levity and unbelievability to it, where it was so sort of like, what the hell, this is not happening, this can't be real. And it was real. So you were kind of like so baffled by it. It had a little bit of levity. It was sort of portrayed in an almost silly way sometimes, or a fun way. And don't get me wrong, like I said, it had its really heavy elements, but it had the levity in there to keep you going and enjoy it a bit more. This is just so grim. Just every episode is just like, wow, he's gone to prison. Oh, wow, he's killed someone. Oh, wow, he's smashed someone's face in. Oh, wow, he's controlling this woman. Oh, wow, he sees them all as their property. Oh, wow, he's like on every drug possible. Oh, wow, he's got this wrong with him, this wrong with it. It's just layered on top of each other, and it's just maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Interesting.
But if you want to feel like shit, give it a watch, Adam. Ladies and gents, I think we've got our first email from a non-person we know. Hey, we've got an email from a listener, Ryan Denyer. We've interacted with Ryan a little bit on social media because he followed us and messaged us when he watches films and stuff. So that's great. And he seems great. I think he lives in Brighton, if I remember correctly. But most importantly, we don't know him.
We're like the magicians, and he's our assistant in the audience.
He's our Debbie McGee. He's like,
we've got to make it really random the way we select it. We've got to throw a paper airplane that catches on fire, and then like hits a penguin, and then the penguin jumps off a ramp onto a bike and then hits him on the forehead.
And then we cut him in half on stage.
Yeah, we couldn't
because we don't know him. But we actually don't know him. I mean, those are all setups. We actually don't know Ryan. So it's so nice to get an email from someone we don't know. Maybe this is the start of it all. Maybe after this, everyone's going to be firing in emails.
We won't have time for the film reviews. It will just be emails.
Email on up. Good evening, Alfie and Adam. Fairly long time listener, but first time emailer. What's that about then, Ryan? Why didn't you email him before? I've been asking every episode. What's that about?
Anyway.
It's fine. We know you're busy. I'm an avid cinema goer. I'm trying to see at least 50 films this year. So far, I'm on 27, so I'm on track to get there. And yes, I do have a full-time job, I promise. This week, I sat down at my local Cineworld, shout out to Cineworld Brighton, to watch Masters of the Universe and Obsession. Wow, this email is Perfect.
Very nice. So he said, Master of the Universe is not an IP I knew anything about prior to watching the movie. I vaguely was aware of He-Man and Skeletor, but this is through distant memories of, I think, car insurance adverts in the noughties. I thought the film was great. I remember that there was like a Skeletor
really
advert,
unlocked
wasn't there?
something in the back of my brain about, He-Man car insurance advert.
Yeah. I thought the film was great. For me, the entertainment didn't cease. There was no slowing down. The action kept me hooked. Most of the comedy I felt landed, and the music was expertly woven into the film. Yes, it was. I didn't mention that. There's some really nice like music Easter eggs for fans that I got some of them, not all of them, but maybe chuckle. I've seen the film get a battering online, mainly due to the box office results, and I do worry it will go the same route as the Dungeons & Dragons film a few years ago, which I also loved despite having no knowledge of the IP. My only slight criticism of the film is its runtime. Now, I'm all for a long runtime when a film needs it. Most of the time, the lengthier, the better for me. But I think the film could be alienating its child audience with this runtime, which might have given it a boost at the box office. My 9-year-old nephew would have loved this film, but would I love sitting in a cinema with him for 2.5 hours? Possibly not. Things you've got to ask yourself. And a lot of parents probably have thought the same. Shave off 30 to 45 minutes, and I think the market would be reacting differently. Nicholas Galitzines also continues to impress. I have nothing appropriate to say about He-Man's overall look, apart from that I was a big fan.
I think that's quite a good point with the target demographic for it. Well, you saying with the age rating, I think it might hit off maybe a bit better if it had a younger skew. Obsession, I equally enjoyed for different reasons. I've not long been out of the cinema as I write this, so I'm still considering my full thoughts. But it was an uncomfortable yet gripping watch that didn't relent. I'm loving the rise of quality horror cinema we've seen in the last couple of years. Sinners, Weapons, and now Obsession. People can't turn their nose up at it anymore. Keep up the great work. I'll keep listening. All the best, Ryan. Ryan's really on point with us. Everything he said there was like exactly what we said. Welcome on the podcast, Ryan. Third member.
Yeah, come along.
10th member, more like.
Very well written email as well. I appreciated that. I read a lot of emails, as does Alfie, to be fair. Good email.
Nice punctuation, brackets. Wasn't the length of a dissertation either.
No.
We haven't heard from him in a while.
He's still writing.
If you would like to get in touch, just like Ryan Denyer, or just like Josh Brooker does, just like my brother does, just like Jenna has a couple of times, please do. We honestly, this has made my day. When I saw this come in yesterday, I was like, oh my God, someone who we don't know has contacted us. A listener who's not forced to listen has emailed in. So it honestly made my day.
Forced to listen.
Oh, you know what I mean. They are.
They are.
Lenny is.
Heavily implied.
Honestly, please email in just like Ryan did. You can do that. It's hello@movieonup.com.
Yes, and if you'd rather not send an email, that's okay. You can drop us a DM, just a quick little text saying, saw Obsession. Thought you'd like it. Boo. Kiss.
Now I'm obsessed with you two.
Yeah, that's all you need to send. That's not creepy. We'd love to receive a message like that. You can get in contact via Instagram and TikTok. The handles on both those platforms are @MovieOnUp.
Look at that. We're back on form, mate. Another little break. Probably killed the Al Gore rhythm again.
Who's Al Gore?
He's the presidential candidate, wasn't he, from like 2000? And he's got some rhythm on him, let me tell you. Yes, we're back on form now. We are excited to review next week, Disclosure Day.
Yes. Exciting. I don't know what to expect from this film. We think the trailers have looked naff.
Particularly
reviews
bad.
Been mixed, so I don't know. It really could go either way.
Could go, which will make for a great episode. So please come back next week. That should be out for you sort of next Friday. So please give that a listen when it drops.
Other than that, go well, watch the road, stay safe. Call your mum.
Tell her you love her.
And then just play Moving Up down the phone. Force her to listen.
Get your mum to listen to Movie On Up. There you go.
That's your mission. Go and do your homework.
Cheers, MILFs.